Solomon has the reputation of the wisest man who ever lived. Yet, he also has the reputation of the person who was responsible for his kingdom being divided because of his foolish choices. So, what does it mean to be wise? In today's video, we're going to talk about that. Hi, my name is Aminata Coote, and today we're talking about what it means to be wise. So, what does it mean to be wise? The first thing, is it just knowing a lot of stuff? Like, if I can recite an entire encyclopedia, does that mean that I'm wise? Well, not necessarily. Here's the thing, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is just knowing stuff. So if I can recite the entire encyclopedia, that's knowledge, right? But if I get into an exam and I don't know how to apply my knowledge to answer my questions, then I'm not wise. So wisdom really is the ability to make good decisions based on what you know, right? So it doesn't have to be book learning. It can be your experiences. So if you have a lot of experience in a particular area, then it will lead you to act wisely in certain decisions, right? So why wasn't Solomon wise? The Bible talks about two different types of wisdom. It talks about sensual wisdom, and it also talks about heavenly wisdom. Now, if you know the story of Solomon, you know that in 1 Kings chapter 3, God came to him in a dream and asked him what he wanted. And Solomon basically said, look, I just need a discerning heart because I'm so young, I don't know what I'm doing. And God said, okay, because you didn't ask for money or fame or anything like that, I'm going to give you wisdom. I'm also going to give you wealth. I'm also going to give you, a long life. And if you continue to do what I told you to do, or you continue to walk in my way as your father did, then I'm going to also make sure that there's somebody from your descendant always on the throne of Israel. Well, we know what happened in that story, right? He married a lot of foreign women, and they drew his heart away from God because he knew that Yahweh was God. But he also, because of his wives, he started worshiping all the different gods of the different nations around him. In that situation, one could say that in the beginning he had heavenly wisdom, but over time he drifted away from God and he only had sensual or demonic wisdom. So let's talk about these two kinds of wisdom. James chapter 3 verses 13 to 17 explains them in detail. I'll be reading from the English Standard Version. Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct, let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but it is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. So basically, you realize that the two different types of wisdoms, they have their own character traits, right? So wisdom that comes from God, it basically comes with the fruit of the Spirit. You notice that? It comes with peace, it comes with the ability to reason, it comes with gentleness and mercy and good fruits, right? But on the other hand, wisdom that is earthly, it leads to things like envy and infighting, and all kind of vile practices are there. So now you're wondering, okay, so how do I get heavenly wisdom? Well, Proverbs chapter 1 verse 7 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And Proverbs 9 verse 10 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So based on those two verses, and there are many others in the Bible, but based on those two verses, you learn that the fear of the Lord is where it all starts, right? So now you have another question. I know every time you come to watch my videos, all you have are questions, but here you go. The fear of the Lord. What is the fear of the Lord? What does it mean to fear God? Does it mean that I should be afraid of him? No, it doesn't. You see, when we talk about fearing God, we're talking about showing him reverence. We're talking about giving him the glory that he deserves. We're talking about showing awe unto God. So when you fear God, it means that you, first of all, you know who God is. Because if you don't know him, you don't have any reason to give him any respect, right? But when you know who God is, then you realize that you need to revere him. You know that you need to give him the glory that is due to his name. And then when you start to act in that manner, it says that the beginning of knowledge and wisdom starts with the fear of the Lord, right? And there's a difference between wisdom and understanding. Because you see, wisdom is... Alright, so let's go back to the beginning. We talked about knowledge earlier, and we basically said that knowledge is just knowing stuff, right? Or having experiences. Well, after you have knowledge, you have understanding. So understanding basically means that when things happen, you know what it means. Yeah. So if I have knowledge and I can understand what I know, then it leads to wisdom, right? Because wisdom is applying that knowledge that I know. Wisdom is applying that understanding. Let's use a silly example. Suppose I have a cell phone and I know the purpose of a cell phone. I know what a cell phone is. I know what it does. I understand its purpose. But instead of using my cell phone to make calls or to go on social media, I use it as a coaster. Is that wise? I would think not, because the fact that I know what a cell phone is and I understand, the technical components of it, then I should know that a cell phone does not like liquid, and I don't care what they tell you about how, waterproof they are. If you put your drink on your phone repeatedly, you're going to have problems with it. Now, I have a whole blog post on what it means to be wise. So I'm going to go ahead and put that link in the description box below. So, now it's your turn. What does it mean to be wise? Share with me in the comments below. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And of course, share it with your friends. Until next time, this is Ami, and I'm encouraging you to know God, know yourself, run your race.